There are a number of employment-related visas, mainly based on sponsorship by prospective employers. In very few cases can an individual sponsor himself or herself for a work-related visa. An exception might be an individual who sets up a company, for example, and makes an investment from certain designated countries with which the United States has a bilateral treaty. In the vast majority of cases, it would depend upon an employer sponsoring an individual. Now, what are the most common types of employment-related visas? Well, they can include professional or specialty worker visas, most commonly known as an H-1B visa, and those are reserved for those with a bachelor's degree or higher in an occupation actually requiring that particular degree. One thing to note is that there are annual quotas for those H-1Bs, and sometimes that poses a problem depending upon the timing. There are 65,000 of these professional worker visas available each fiscal year, and if an individual has obtained a master's degree or higher in the U.S., there are an additional 20,000 visas available. And an H-1B is good for 3 years at a time, up to a maximum of 6 years. And in certain instances, if an employer has sponsored an individual for a green card or permanent residence, then the H-1B visa can be extended even longer. I should also mention that spouses and children are eligible for H-4 dependent visas, but under the current law, they cannot work or obtain work authorizations. However, they can go to school. Other commonly used employment visas may be for intra-company transferees. Certain multinational companies who are transferring either specialized knowledge employees or certain executives or managers are entitled to an L1 intra-company transferee visa, and they are good for up to 7 years for managers or executives and up to 5 years for those with specialized knowledge. Another visa, as I mentioned before, are the E2 investor visas, and that would be pertaining to those who are making an investment that is considered substantial in nature, creating jobs for other U.S. citizens, and as I mentioned, those individuals must be a citizen of a country with which the United States has a bilateral treaty of trade and investment. So these are trader and treaty investment visas that are also available for certain individuals.